Hey guys, today is Friday, February the 12th, 2016. Welcome to another Crazy New York Driver eBay video. I'm Joe DeMarco, otherwise known as the Crazy New York Driver on YouTube, and Hubcap Joe's on eBay. I'm a top-rated seller, and today we're going to discuss some more eBay topics that I think will be important to you guys. We're going to discuss eBay adjusting the first class shipping rates. We're going to discuss slow Super Bowl sales, which I predicted last week. We're also going to discuss a few other things, including a questionable return. And I think you guys will hopefully find this video helpful and enjoyable. As you guys know, last week was the Super Bowl, and I had predicted very slow, if any, sales throughout the duration of the game. And unfortunately, I was correct. I made exactly one sale for about $30 during the Super Bowl. And I'm wondering how you guys did. Did you do any better or did you do worse? It was a real slap in the face because it was a very lackluster game. One of the least exciting games I can remember in a long, long time. Even the commercials were nothing to write home about. So all in all, I would consider this year's Super Bowl somewhat of a fail. And no, I didn't win any pools, so I have nothing to brag about there. I hope you guys did better. So yeah, sales in general during the week were okay. They weren't really good. They weren't a total fail, but they weren't really good. They were just lukewarm. I'm happy to report that eBay has finally adjusted the first class 1 to 3 ounce shipping fees. As you know, once the new USPS rates came into effect, the prices changed dramatically. They went up. If you're a top-rated seller on eBay and you print your labels through eBay, you get usually a pretty nice discount on your shipping. However, for the first time in recorded history, if you printed your labels through eBay and you were shipping first class 1 to 3 ounces, you actually were being charged more than you would be charged if you were a ham and egger walking into the post office. Can you believe that? What I'm saying is you could go in as a ham and egger or a stranger in the post office, ship a 1 to 3 ounce first class mailer, and you would be charged $2.54. But if you did the same thing as a top rated seller on eBay, you would be charged $2.60, which was a real slap in the face, and a lot of sellers were getting pissed off. Now, before we go any further, let me just show you the envelope in question so you know what I'm talking about. And of course, I don't have it right here with me, but I'll grab it for you. I'm curious to see how many of you guys are affected by this kind of thing. See these small bubble mailers here? These are what I use for my small items. These are ideal for shipping sports cards, for instance, and other small items that are very light, 1 to 3 ounces. These are the envelopes that I'm talking about. Okay? You may have seen in the past I buy these from Uline. So, finally, the other day, the rate was adjusted on eBay to reflect $2.54, not the $2.60 we were paying. A lot of people, as I said, were unhappy about this. And it's not the 6 cents per se. I mean, 6 cents is 6 cents, but I mean, if you ship a lot, and some of you do, it starts to add up. But it's just the fact that if you're a top-rated seller, you shouldn't have to pay more than everybody else. It just didn't sit right with a lot of people. But thankfully, that has been taken care of. The price has been adjusted, and we can now move on. Okay? I would like to tell you guys a story about a questionable return. Now, I do realize taking returns is part of doing business online. I don't have a complaint about that. It's just the nature of the return and how it went. And I want to explain this to you and get your opinion on it. And I guess the key word would be premeditated. So this lady buys an item from me. I ship it to her. And she gets it. And she right away leaves me positive feedback. She's very happy with the item. The very next day she writes to me and says, I would like to return this item because it's in very poor condition. I'm like, what? Very poor condition? The item was mint. So, before I did anything, now keep in mind, no matter what happens, I'm taking the return. Because top-rated sellers, as you know, or as you should know, starting in, I think it's May, have to take returns for 30 days. Right now, you can still skate by taking them for 14 days. But either way, I'm taking the return. But I just want to find out why. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the item. If she wants to return it, I'm fine with that. But just, you know, don't say that it's not nice. So, I go on to watchcount.com, and sure enough, she bought the same item from not one, but two other sellers besides myself, and both those sellers were much cheaper than me. So now I see where this is going. She bought my item, then did a little more shopping, found two more, which were much cheaper. Now, she could have just said, I want to return the item and left it at that. That's not a problem. I take returns. But I know that the item was not in bad condition. So, I wrote to her and I said, are you sure that it's my item you want to return? Because mine was mint. By the way, I happen to notice you bought the same thing from two other sellers. And she says, yes, I'm sure it was your item and not theirs. Okay? All right. No problem. She sends the item back. Now here's where it gets quirky. Most people open the box, you know, look at the item, then repack it, slap a label on it, and send it back to me. Well, what she did was, when she opened the box, she didn't slice the fascia of the box. She turned it upside down and opened the bottom of the box and took it out that way. Now seriously guys, I want to think about this. When you guys get a package, do any of you guys look at the label, not disturb it, not slice it open, but turn it over upside down and open it that way, leaving the label intact? I don't think there's a single one of you that does. Which tells me that she knew ahead of time she was going to be sending my item back. Alright? Because she paid more for mine than she did for the other two. And again, that's not the point of this story. You're going to hear the point very shortly. What she did was she opened the base, all right, took it out, saw it was my item, boxed it back, flipped it back over, and she wrote refused across the original label. Now, as you know, guys, once you open a USPS parcel, you cannot write refused on it. That's against the law. But she did it. She wrote refused and sent it back to me. Keep in mind, through eBay messages, she said my item was in poor condition. So how could she know it was in poor condition, or how could she even make that statement if she never examined the item? See, it just doesn't gel. But anyway, I wasn't going to make a big deal of it. The item came back. It was, in fact, my item. It was, in fact, in good condition, just like I sent it to her, so I gave her her money back. It's not really a big issue, but I just wanted to point out to you the lengths that she went through to do this, and I don't understand why. Obviously, when she got the box, she knew that she had found it cheaper from two other sellers. So she opened the bottom of my box, planning ahead of time to write refused on the top. So I guess if anybody got scammed, it was the post office, not me. I mean, yeah, I lost the original shipping. Hey, I can deal with that. But I just thought it was a very interesting story and very interesting situation, and I would like to get your guys' opinion on that. What would you have done had it happened to you? When you saw that she opened the bottom, wrote refused across the top and all that? Me, I mean, I have nothing to gain by pursuing it, so I just let it drop. But it kind of irked me. I don't mind taking returns, not one bit. I guess I should probably count myself fortunate, because she could have gone the other route. She could have tried to click on item not as described, even though it was as described. And that way I would have almost had to pay the shipping back, but I would have fought that one. That's where the eBay new pilot returns program would come into play, and it would be very helpful to me, because I'll be able to prove that it was the item that I indeed sent her. But anyway, I thought you guys would be amused by that little story. If you have any comments about it or would like to express your feelings on it, you're more than welcome to. And tell me, what would you have done? I'd like to know. If you're wondering why I'm inside now, it's because it is bitter cold outside, guys. Bitter cold. It's about 14 degrees, and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, it's supposed to get down to 0. Can you believe that? Terrible Arctic blast of air. We only had one really bad snowstorm this winter, which you saw a few weeks ago, but I'm telling you, we've had a ton of raw, cloudy, miserable days. The other day on one of the Facebook groups, one of my friends, David, who lives out in California, posted a screenshot from his iPhone of his weather. I swear to God, every day was sunny across the board. Sunny and like in the 80s this time of year. So I responded with a screenshot from my iPhone, all cloudy days in the 20s. And I asked him, I said, listen, you want to sell me one of your sunny days? I'm willing to buy it from you. But we haven't reached an agreement yet, and I'm not sure how the shipping would be handled on that anyway. But anyway, yeah, that's basically it. It's been just a so-so week, guys. So, to rehash, what are your opinions on the following? 1, getting a weird return where somebody goes to extraordinary means to return something that was just as you described it, and to save shipping, writes refused across the top while they opened it from the bottom. I thought that was very cagey. Again, I didn't make an issue of it. I'm just bringing it up here because I know you guys like to hear about these interesting stories. And if you have one of your own to share, please do. Also, as I said, the postage rate has been adjusted back down to $2.54 for top-rated sellers, so we can all enjoy our 6-cent savings on said packages. Slow Super Bowl sales, if you guys have anything to report about that, I'd like to hear about it. How were your sales in general this week? Mine were just plain average. Nothing to write home about, but also nothing to complain about. That's it. I'm Crazy New York Driver. You're not. Got that? Thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure to talk to you guys and read your comments. And hopefully I'll see you guys next Friday night. Thanks for watching. Rock on. See you next Friday.